We went to Blockbuster. A good jump scare is 10 times better when someone is actually screaming. I was in the DMs of my favorite celebrity science crush. They just want a man that could fix the time on the VCR. That, ladies and gentlemen, is why there's a male loneliness epidemic. Hey, you guys, welcome back to Forties Unfiltered, where I, Brandy Lynn, process my midlife crisis out loud in real time because therapy is only an hour and that is simply not enough. We are back in the dressing room, guys. I am very excited to be back with you. Last week was launch week for this podcast, and it has been equally exciting and kind of scary because as much as I've been looking forward to this, I purposely did not consider the feeling of being seen by so many people who know me. And while that should be obvious, right? I just didn't want to get too freaked out and keep myself from actually doing this because I didn't want anything to keep me from starting because starting is the hardest thing. But seriously, a guy that I used to work with told me that he saw the videos and I was so uncomfortable. I was just like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. But also, yeah, do that because I need the views. But also, that's so embarrassing. Don't do that. Don't do that. But anyway, this episode is going to be a total palate cleanser. All right. We did a lot of heavy lifting in these last few episodes. And I think it's time for us to have a little bit more fun and talk about some things that are not so serious, but that I have very strong opinions about. And what better way to do that than with a cocktail that perfectly captures my personality, a little chaotic, but equally delicious. It's part summer zen, part fall obsession, the matcha pumpkin spice cocktail. Now, hear me out on this. Mm. Mm. Okay, I'm really trying that out for the first time right now, and it's so good. Hmm. I don't know what it tastes like, but it tastes like, I mean, you taste the pumpkin and the matcha, but somehow it works and I can't explain why. Mm. Also, if I go through the whole episode with sugar on my lips, I'm sorry. Hear me out. All right. The combination might seem a little weird, right? But the idea came to me because Whole Foods is actually on their um cafe menu. They have a matcha pumpkin spice latte, and I've kind of been seeing it. Once I saw it there, I started seeing it other places, and I just really thought that a cocktail version of it would be absolutely amazing and spot on for this episode, and it's actually really, really good. You can find my drink recipe online at fortiesunfiltered.com, where you'll also find a link to this video if you're a looky loo. But most importantly, you'll be able to interact with me by either sending an email or leaving me a voicemail. So please tell me your own unhinged story, vent about something happening in your life, or just say hi. I really don't care. I just want to hear from you. And who knows, you might end up on the next episode. mm, mm. Okay. I have some thoughts about today's topic. All right. Summerween. Okay. So for those of you who don't really know what Summerween is, it's literally how it sounds. It's celebrating Halloween in the middle of summer. And while this is not necessarily new, it just seems to be everywhere this year. Specifically, there's just been so much more of this push to make Summerween a thing that I've never seen before. And it was originally really driving me nuts. So honestly, curiosity got the best of me, and I had to know where this whole Summerween thing even came from. And it turns out we can thank Gen Z for this mess. Those kids grew up watching a Disney show called Gravity Falls, and they did a whole episode about Summerween. And now their nostalgia has spilled all over TikTok. And since Gen Z basically runs TikTok, their childhood obsession has now become everybody's new trend. And I'm not here for it, okay? Against my will, my feed was suddenly full of suburban women my age decorating with pastel ghosts in July and dogs wearing pumpkin costumes while it's 90 degrees outside. And I'm just like, really, guys, Summerween? You're not even doing it right. Because I've yet to see a what is it? Like a jack-o'-lantern watermelon, I guess is what they had in the episode. I never see those. It's always like straight up Halloween vibes when it's like 1,000 degrees outside. Call me what you will, but Halloween, in my opinion, belongs to crisp nights, foggy mornings, and maybe a witch's cape, not to boob sweat and beach balls. Okay. I mean, some of it I can kind of understand because obviously it's not like Christmas. Halloween is literally just one day. So if you don't get your Halloween stuff out by the first or second week of October, then you're going to do a lot of work to only enjoy it for literally a week or two. Do you know what I mean? Admittedly, Halloween has it bad because it's kind of a sandwich holiday where like the last true holiday of summer is what, Labor Day? And then you've only got like 3 weeks before fall, and then you've got barely a month before the 31st. And then at midnight, Mariah Carey unthaws, and then you've got Thanksgiving as a filler holiday on your way to Christmas. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's a totally different thing because Christmas decor can be up for like 2 months. But like Halloween people, I get it. I get it. You're cheated. I feel you. I see you. I really do understand. I just really could not care less. As terrible as that sounds. Mm. Mm. Look, it's kind of green. It's so cute. You can kind of tell I'm obviously not a Halloween person. And I never really have been, but I get it in terms of at least decor. If this is something you love and you crave, I do feel you on that. Specifically because we just don't really have an appropriate place in our culture to fit like that dark academia vibe, which I know isn't exactly Halloween, but it really does skew Halloween-esque. And so for a lot of people who aren't into all the blood and gore, they lean more into like the haunting vibes. I totally get it how there's really only one, for all intents and purposes, one night a year for you to get all of that out of your system, or where it's even appropriate to be scaring people half to death for no reason, or decorating like an old apothecary mad scientist person, but you have to admit it's just weird in July. Okay. It's just weird. It's weird in August. So for me, the thing about Halloween is that it isn't just the gore or the jump scares, it's the atmosphere. It's the early morning dew clinging to the grass. It's, the low-lying fog around a tree-lined forest with a shadowy figure in the distance. Um, you know, like you can barely make out and it might scare you, or it could be a figure, a figure of your imagination. Guys, I've only had 2 sips. Like, I don't even know. Let's have another one. Mm. Anyway, there's fog. Everything seems just like a little too still, you know? And I love like the costumes and the drama and the sense of opulence, and none of that works when it's blazing hot outside. Okay. You could get your head chopped off at a random beach party, and it would not be half as terrifying as walking through the quiet of a crisp fall night. Every creak sounds suspicious, every shadow feels alive, and the silence itself becomes menacing. And then all of a sudden, Brad Pitt jumps out and he bites you on your neck and drains your blood dry. You know what I'm saying? So Halloween just has a built-in theater that summer cannot match. Period. All right. And seasonality really does matter because things are scarier in the fall because of science. Cooler, denser air means sound doesn't travel as far. So everything feels like unnervingly silent. So that eerie stillness, it makes you hypersensitive and aware of your surroundings, and like the hair on the back of your neck starts to prickle. And compare that to a sticky, noisy summer night where bugs are buzzing around and the air is thick with sound. You could be screaming at the top of your lungs at a beach party and nobody would even notice. But in the fall, in all that hush, you scream bloody murder and you might just make it to the hospital before your body hits rigor mortis. Okay. So ask me how I know this. Ask me. Hmm. I was in the DMs of my favorite celebrity science crush. This is a true story. And I brag about it like every chance I get. Okay. Seriously. And honestly, if he was watching this, he would be so proud that I even knew that. Because what we actually talked about was that we were talking about the stillness of the early, early morning, right? And why it's so quiet and why that's the best time for meditation. But because I'm a genius, I just kind of like knew that that translated to the fall vibes, you know? Um, and then just to double check myself so I wouldn't sound stupid to you, I Googled and I was right. So beauty and brains over here. But isn't it the nerdiest shit ever to slide into the DMs of this guy and all you end up talking about is literally like atmosphere? Oh man, your tastes change so much as you age. All right. So, my childhood Halloween when I was growing up, my parents really didn't celebrate Halloween. Like I know when I was little, like really little, I think I dressed up a couple of times, but my earliest memories were that they sent us to church and they would have you like bobbing for apples. I'm so freaking old that I remember fucking bobbing for apples. Do you know? Like that's before like we knew how disgusting that was. Like aside from the fact that everybody is literally putting their open mouths into the same trough of water, think about all the apples that you did not get. Somebody literally put their tongue and their teeth all over that. And we just thought it was normal. But we all survived. And I guess we have great immune systems now. I don't know. But like thinking about it really makes me want to gag. But suffice it to say, our porch light was always dark at Halloween. And I remember there would always be a couple of times people would ring the doorbell anyway. And I never understood that because I thought it was like the universal rule that if the porch light is off and there's no decor, like the house isn't participating. So like, what are we doing? Mm. So yeah, I don't remember even being like it ever being like a big thing. I've never really even I mean, I've definitely never been into the scariness of it, you know? I'm definitely more into like think things like what's that show? Agatha Christie. Yeah, Agatha Christie. But Agatha All Along or Wednesday, like I can deal with that. Like stuff that's palatable or like magical or fantastical leaning stuff, like I can definitely deal with that. I can't do the gory. And I am absolutely the person who screams in movie theaters during the scary parts. Um and for those of you sitting nearby who get annoyed, look. All right? Look. I don't even want to be there myself, okay? If you see me at a horror movie, it's probably under duress. So maybe show me a little empathy, all right? And second of all, a good jump scare is 10 times better when someone is actually screaming. It's practically immersive theater, okay? You're not just watching a movie, you're getting a cinematic presentation and a live performance, all for the price of one ticket. So honestly, you guys should be thanking me for all the appreciation that I'm showing the art form. Okay? So like kiss my grits, all right? I can't help it. I cannot help it. Mm. Yeah, so I'm definitely the person who's watching like half the movie with my eyes covered. And I literally just peek through my eyes so I can shut them really quickly if something happens. And I'll ask you if it's over. I do have to say, the few people that I've ever gone to scary movies with, like, shout out to the guys that I date. Y'all are real ones because, like, not one time ever, never has anybody ever lied to me and said that the scary part was over when it really wasn't. And I very much appreciate that. Like, totally no BS. But since I don't really have fond Halloween memories as a child, I find myself being very, very just like interested in this grown-up cosplay people are doing, which I know is not it's not really a Halloween thing, but I didn't even know it was a thing until I moved to Atlanta. You'll just be driving past like Dragon Con and you feel like you're actually on a movie set and it's crazy. A few years ago, I was talking to this guy and he used to go to Dragon Con like every single year. So I was like, Cool, like, can I tag along?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." So of course, I suggest coordinating costumes. Not like a couple's costume, like calm down. Like we didn't need to be like He-Man and She-Ra, okay? I wasn't trying to like make it like romantic or whatever. I just wanted something like, can we be from the same universe? Like, can we be characters that at least look like we belong in the same photo, like Like, it makes sense that we're doing this. But he would not budge. He would not budge. He's like, I already have a costume. And by had, he meant that he pulled some random clothes out of his closet, tied some rope around, added a light up mask, and called it a day. And I'm like, okay, no, seriously. Like, I really don't care. I'll be a guy. I'll be a monster. I'll be a creature. Like, I'll be a building. Like, whatever. Just give me some sense of direction so we coordinate. Like, if you've already got your costume, then help me figure out something to complement what you've got. Nothing. Crickets. I was like, dude, I will be, your ally. I will be your nemesis. Like, what are we doing here? Like, give me something. It's my first time and I'm already overthinking it and freaking out. Like, I've never done this before and I want it to be cool. Like, I want it to be fun. Nothing. Nothing. He was literally no help whatsoever. And he just like stuck to his crappy techno ninja outfit and I just didn't end up going. But let me tell you something. That, ladies and gentlemen, is why there's a male loneliness epidemic. It literally had nothing to do with the fact that I swooped in at the last minute, wanted to change up all his plans. No, no, no. It was because he just would not cooperate and help me live up my Halloween dreams at Dragon Con. And that is the real crisis here. Hmm. Mm. I should have made more. It's really good. Anyway, it goes without saying, I literally, for all the reasons stated above, could take Halloween or leave it. Okay. But one thing that has been interesting to learn about myself going through this midlife crisis is that there are things that I'm incredibly stressed about, very overwhelmed by. And then there are things that I'm totally fine embracing. Okay. And one of those things is pumpkin spice lattes. Yes, you heard me. Pumpkin spice lattes. My name is Brandy, and I love pumpkin spice lattes. And I do very, very much look forward to them every season. I'm so excited every year when it comes out. Like, I love it so much. It is embarrassing saying it out loud so much, but I do. I love pumpkin spice flavored everything. Okay. And there really is like everything now. I think last year I saw spice flavored popcorn. Like, I would never try it, but I loved seeing it on the shelf. Like, I mean, it kind of was one of those moments where I was like, okay, wait, are we doing too much at this point? And then I sat on it and thought, no, we're not doing too much. It's never too much pumpkin spice, okay? It only comes around once a year. It comes around in the fall. Fall only comes around once a year. And then where I live, it's over in the blink of an eye. So I'm here for all things PSL, okay? All things PSL. I will admit, I used to think Starbucks was getting a little wild, all right, rolling out the pumpkin spice latte so early. Even this year, I was like, at the end of August, like, that's insane. But apparently, that's been their schedule forever. Basically, 30 days after or 30 days before the official start of fall. But still, even knowing that, something about that, I have to admit, just doesn't really feel right. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that I'm shameless. Do you hear me? I even have a personal tradition where I get a pumpkin spice latte on the day that it comes out every single year, and I cannot even explain why. Like, if I could have been the first person at line at Starbucks on August 27th, when the PSL came out this year, I would have been. Like, it would I mean, it would have been a no-brainer, but did not happen this year. However, I did go the day that it came out, and I have since tried everything on their new fall menu. No comment. No judgment, please. All right. So, for those of you who have not had a chance to try the entire menu for the 4 whole days that it's been rolled out, well, I think by the time you guys hear this it'll be 7 days. Um, do not fret. I'm here for you, and I've consumed all the calories so that you don't have to. All right. Here we go. Okay, first things first, the pumpkin spice latte. I always order it exactly how it comes, no substitutions, unless you've got like an allergy or you're some kind of beverage alchemist. Leave the damn drinks alone, okay, until you've actually tried it. That is just a pet peeve of mine. They're on the menu for a reason, okay? I literally hate it when people change half the recipe, then complain that they don't like it. You haven't even tried it until you've had it the way that it's intended. Like, same with food. Stop putting salt on everything before you actually try it. Try it first, then make tweaks. And that is a hill that I'll die on. And maybe we can debate it one day, maybe during a live session. But right now, I am 10 toes down. Try it the way that it comes, unless it's going to make your bowels explode. All right. Back to the PSL. All right, so I got mine iced, which I always do, and honestly, it hit better than last year. I mean, it could be because I switched Starbucks locations, the one that's most convenient to me, but it tasted like the classic PSL from like way back in the day. Like, she's good, she's right, go for it. 10 out of 10 recommend. Okay. Next up is the Pecan Crunch Oatmeal Latte. No, 10 out of 10, no notes. I had it more. Actually, it's so good. I had it cool and not cold because the Starbucks that I went to was out of ice that day, shockingly. And it was still amazing. Like, oatmeal makes everything better, and like the crunch topping, just so you know, it's not something that's going to impede on the experience. It's literally just like a sweet, salty, melty thing that goes into the foam. It's super subtle. It's not overpowering. Again, 10 out of 10, totally recommend. Pecan oat milk cortado. Okay. I am not necessarily an espresso person. I actually had no idea what a cortado was, but it's basically espresso steamed with milk. And this version is pecan flavored with oat milk. Fine. It comes in this teeny tiny short size, and it's so adorable, you guys. I loved it just for that, which I found out after the fact is totally normal that espressos come in those little bitty cups, but there was something about the little bitty paper cup that I just, and my heart like melted, right? Anyway, it was really adorable. It was super balanced. And the one thing I can tell you is that it was strong, but it was not bitter, which to me was shocking because every time I've ever had espresso, it kind of has that bitter aftertaste a little bit, and I actually wanted more. So for espresso snobs, you might miss that bitterness, but not for me. If you're just trying it because it's a seasonal thing, 10 out of 10 would recommend. All right. Pumpkin cream cold brew. This one kind of surprised me because it still tasted like a cold brew, but with just like enough pumpkin to give it the fall vibes. Perfect if you want that seasonal flavor without being smacked in the face with pumpkin. Definitely worth a try. I swear to you, 10 out of 10 would recommend. It's not too much, which is what I love the most about it. Um, Adversely, pumpkin cream chai. It was a little trickier. I mean, I really do love chai. It's a lot of times it's my go-to, but this was a lot. I feel like the mouth feel was a little much. So, I mean, it was definitely heavy-handed. If you love pumpkin, go for it. If you want eggnoggy leaning pumpkin, go for it. If not, skip it. I gave it like an 8 out of 10. Um, the raccoon cake pop. I have it. It's super cute. I have not tasted it because it's for kids, so who cares what it tastes like? So we're gonna skip it. Pumpkin cream cheese muffin, oldie but a goodie. I've had it plenty of times. This year I had it warmed. I don't know why I've never had it warmed before. It really does change the experience of it. And it was absolutely delicious. That's it. Oh, I know why I've never had it warmed. Because normally I get their blueberry muffin and I just like to eat the muffin top. And when it's cold, it's a little sticky. And I don't know. It's just I like how it tastes. And it doesn't like crumble when you take the top off. So that's why I never had my muffin warm. But anyway, I had it warmed. It was great. 10 out of 10 would recommend. All right. Pumpkin loaf. Nothing to say. It's good as always. Get it if you like it. Okay. All of that to get to the egg bites. All right. Now listen, I love Starbucks egg bites. I love egg bites in general, but I really love Starbucks egg bites. I really do think they get it right. Every flavor, every time they get it right. But the new Italian sausage bites, flavor bomb. So good. Every bite had a seasoning. Now, I will say, if I'm being totally honest, the roasted red pepper ones, those don't always have flavor. Like sometimes you get those and it's just kind of like just egg, you know? But these were all flavor all the time. So 10 out of 10, totally recommend. Now listen, all right? To my fellow PSL lovers out there, uh, I know Starbucks does not have the best coffee, okay? I am not delusional, all right? You can find better coffee at like a dozen other places. But Starbucks nails ambiance, and they are very, very much pioneers in everything that they do. So basically, they set the tone and everybody else is following, all right? We just have to be honest about that. But that being said, there's a real debate amongst PSL lovers that say Starbucks may be the OG, but that Dunkin' Donuts pumpkin spice signature latte actually taste better because it's creamier and it's smoother and it's more blended. Um, and Starbucks PSL leans a little bit spicier. And I'm about to settle that debate right now, hands down. End of story. Dunkin' Donuts wins. Boom, I said it. Gavel. She done deal. It's sealed into the history books, all right? So we can just put that to bed. All right. So, let me confess that I'm an idiot. And I have a new obsession with the word autumnal. Okay, so, like, I had literally never heard that word until last year, and I'm not ashamed to say it, okay? And now I just cannot stop saying it. It sounds so refined and so elevated, like, it instantly classes up whatever sentence you drop it in. And apparently people in Europe have been tossing it around forever, like, everyday vernacular, you know? But, for me, it's brand new, and I'm out here finding excuses to sneak it into random conversations, all right? But, learning that word has also made me realize just how obsessed with we are with rushing fall, right? The minute August hits, it's like pumpkin palooza. And honestly, it makes sense when you think about it. You know, nostalgia is really the driver of it, especially with that wave of 90s nostalgia going on right now. Well, really in the past couple of years. But I'm starting to see Pinterest boards and fall vibe boards floating around. And a lot of that, they're starting to incorporate some of the 90s nostalgia vibes. And it's interesting because, you know, 90s nostalgia in and of itself isn't specifically about fall. Like on some of these boards, I'm seeing like Gilmore Girls, you know, and it's like Gilmore Girls was not ever branded seasonal. It was never specifically a fall show, although it does open up with like the orange leaves at almost every episode throughout the entire year. Even the Christmas episode. They did open a Christmas episode with those crazy orange leaves, but you know, and also there's like sweaters and backpacks and mugs of coffee in every single scene. So I get it, but technically it wasn't a fall show. Um but thanks to social media, they've really retrofitted that whole show into like fall vibes. And you know what? I'm here for it. I really am. I think it just works because, you know, 90s already carried that slower, more analog rhythm, you know? You weren't doom scrolling in bed back then, you know, we were gathered around the TV at the same time every week. You had space to feel seasons changing and settle into a routine and you know, when people post their 90s fall aesthetic, you know, mood boards, I totally see where they're coming from, honestly, because I was there and it was cool. But the 90s really, really is a vibe. You know, it's cozy, it's communal, a little bit moody, but it's basically everything that we now associate with autumn. And I do think that we talk about the 90s in general very differently than the way that we talk about other decades. Like, you know, there's disco and bell bottoms in the 70s, you know, and then there's 90s and big hair, neon, I'm sorry, and big hair in the 80s. I feel like those are a bit more kitschy and performative, but this obsession over the 90s feels more to me like a collective desire for emotional safety, right? Like, I think right now we're all feeling this cultural fatigue. We're just so overstimulated and we really kind of need a break. So I'm totally on board for this 90s fall situation because I think it just, you know, it's like our collective desire to bring back that sense of calm that we're really, really missing nowadays. Um, Honestly, I do think, like, if you think back about TV, like, there was a safety in knowing that, like, in 58 minutes, the episode was going to end and there was going to be a resolution and it was going to be a positive resolution and good always prevailed. You know, you'd have a whole week to process what happened and you talk to your friends about it and, you know, you look forward to what's coming the next week. And, you know, there wasn't constant spotlighting and endless need to scroll and there's no pressure to know what everyone's doing all the time. You just natural breathing room, you know, to enjoy smaller moments in life at your local coffee shop. Like, I didn't even have a local coffee shop in my neighborhood back then, but like, I remember thinking, man, I really wish we had a local coffee shop because it seems like that's where all the action's happening, right? So, you know, I get it. It really, you know, fall slows down. The 90s was a little bit slower. It all kind of meshes together, you know, and that's really the magic of the 90s. It's the last analog childhood before everything kind of went fully digital. We rode bikes without tracking apps. We called friends on landlines, and we made pilgrimages. Yeah, pilgrimages. Y'all, I got to learn how to speak. We went to Blockbuster on Friday nights. It was the highlight of the week. It was the best. It was like simple and there was freedom and, there was enough tech to feel modern, but not so much that it smothered you. Like, even in dating, I remember women back then would say, like, they just want a man that could, like, fix the time on the VCR. And now it's like a totally different story. Like, recently, speaking of which, my tire light came on, so, like, I stop at the gas station, and I get out in my work clothes, and I started putting air in myself. And listen, I clocked this man the second that I pulled up, okay? I saw him looking at me, looking at him, looking at me, right? He was sitting there full on staring the entire time. He did not offer to help, never moved, just watched. Fine, whatever. Not your job to help me. It's whatever. Not even a big deal. But then after I've crouched down in my white pants and heels, gotten my hands dirty, and finished the job, put the little cap back on, and I'm literally getting back into my car to drive off. That's when this MFer decides to make his move. He like hops out of his car and walks over and taps on my window and goes, "Hey, are you single?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm single." And he goes, "I thought I could give you my number." And I'm like, "Are you insane? Did you just am I in another world? Absolutely not. Like, no, like 1,000 times no. You literally just watched me crouch down in my heels, get dirty, filling my own tire, and your big move is to hit me up after all the work is done? No, sir. No. No, 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 no. So anyway, but maybe that's why 90s nostalgia hits differently than like 70s and 80s, right? Other decades we talk about are fun, but they feel like moments in time, whereas the 90s feels like an entire culture. And now in the world we're living in, we're trying to cling to it because we miss it. And we miss that balance and that breathing room and just like the feeling of being a part of something. And then the kids that grew up without it are just like they see it on TV and they wish that they had it. And I totally get it. One of my core memories was from a time that I was living in a dorm at boarding school where like every week we'd pile into the common room at 7 o'clock to watch Felicity, right? And one of the girls in my dorm was Indian and her mom used to make like the most incredible food. And there'd just be like big trays of stuff and she'd share with us all the time. And I can still remember the exact moment when we were all collectively gasping because Felicity cut her hair off. Like those nights felt like safe and communal and special in a way that's so hard to replicate right now because it just doesn't really exist anymore. We also had really good movies back then that have like still remained in the culture. Like I can think of off the top of my head, we definitely had movies that lasted like Casper or like ooh Halloween Town, which is so cute to me. And maybe that one's not the biggest, but it's one that people know a lot. Like you see it like every year. Um let me see. Adam's Family Values for sure. That was a really good one. The Craft, obviously. Hocus Pocus, obviously, like Hocus Pocus is Halloween. Like there is no Halloween without it. Um and then like Practical Magic, which took a little bit, a few years to like catch its sea legs or to find its sea legs, but it became a cult classic. And did you know that they're gonna have they're making a new one and it's gonna come out next year, which I'm actually super excited about because I was a little late to the Practical Magic train. But I love it. It's such a good movie. Also, um, I could take some more Sandra Bullock right now. I could take some more Sandra Bullock right now. I don't think that I've seen her in quite some time. I need her back in the cultural zeitgeist, like immediately. I don't think I've seen her since like Bullet Train. No, there was that other movie. What was it? The one with Channing Tatum, I think. The Jungle movie, whatever movie that was, she was good in that one too. But like I need some more Sandra, okay? Like I have not had enough of her. So she has nothing to do with fall, but like I need her in my life. So Sandra, if you hear this, more movies please. Um anyway, I've got mixed feelings about all these influencer ads that I've been seeing though because I'm not gonna lie. On the one hand, I love it when they tell me what I need to buy. I do. I want to know what I should get at Pottery Barn, Crate and Barrel. Like it really does. Not even so much what I should buy, but like it really does give me ideas for like design and like the vibe that I want to go for the year. But on the other hand, like, ugh, I hate when they manufacture this panic over like everything selling out. It's like, calm down. Like, I do not believe the entire internet is about to buy Garland in August. Like, why? Literally, this just happened to me. I am not even kidding. This woman literally just last week put up a thing about like, um, this viral, which also I think they're just using viral all willy-nilly. Everything is not going viral, guys. Like I would have known it because I'm on the phone all the time. So there's this garland that went viral from Walmart last year, which is so annoying because there was a Kirkland's garland that went viral the past 2 years. But anyway, this viral garland from Walmart is apparently back in stock, and this lady's like, text me blah blah blah, and I'll send you the link. So I text her blah blah blah, and she sends me the link. Boom, sold out. Last week, guys, last week was August, the end of August. It was the last week of August. This is insane, insane. Like I cannot with the situation. It drives me nuts. So maybe that's why I love fall so much. It's not about second chances or some hokey pokey fresh start. It's about slowing things down. It's about comfort food and cozy sweaters and long walks where you actually notice the leaves changing. It's about taking inventory of your life. Like you swap out your closet, see what fits, what doesn't, what's worth keeping, and honestly, reinventing yourself in your 40s feels kind of the same way. It's not about rushing to keep up. It's about slowing things down and finally choosing, who you actually want to be. The calm and the comfort don't come from staying still. They come from accepting the parts of yourself that you used to hide and finally building a life that supports that and feels like it fits. And that's where I'll leave you. I'm Randy Lynn, and this has been my 40s Unfiltered.